You've already established that. You've already established that. You asked him, did anybody tell him he had to be qualified to do his job? And he said no. But things change now. All right. Can you step down? Watch your step.
Thank you. That's all I have. I guess witness.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Duncan, your witness.
Also, Tony, as you see here today, and back at this, Mr. Block having a line system that.
Not that I could detect.
Have you ever, have you seen any lab report come back? Or
No, sir.
Okay. I noticed you keep saying it was parked in the middle of the road. So I'm looking at that video, and I looked at, and the video stopped, but the video keeps going for a while, correct? There's quite a bit more action. And cars are going by and passing that car. Did you move the car?
No,
The car is not in the middle of the road, is it?
it's in the middle of the lane, the middle of that lane, that southbound lane.
It's parked
Middle of
on
the road, I mean,
Is it parked on the right side of the road?
in the right lane, in the center of the right lane of traffic, I mean, it's obvious, right?
Is it
No
parked-
lines there because it's a gravel road, so it's hard to determine.
Are lanes marked on that road?
No.
Okay, so is it fair to say the car is parked on the right side of the road?
Right travel,
Pardon me?
right travel lane of the roadway, yes.
The cars are going past, it's not presenting any danger to cars going by, right? The time you were there were numerous cars going by, right?
Absolutely.
And when you approached them, you said it was passed out.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a difference between passed out and sleeping in your mind?
No.
Okay, so you agree,
Absolutely.
and would you agree he was in a pretty sound sleep?
Yes.
Okay. So when you woke him, you kind of figured, I mean, judging from what I saw, you kind of figured right off the bat that he's under. Is that fair?
Something's up, I'll give you that.
Can
Something's wrong with me. Why would you go to sleep in your car with the door open in the roadway?
Well,
Not a normal thing that happens.
who opened it?
It was open,
I don't know, I'm asking you, if you know from your investigation.
no clue.
So
What
when
you see is what I,
did somebody check on it?
I don't,
Well, I thought you said there was a cost, and they went back.
there was a call that I don't know if they checked on him. I don't know if they got out. I don't know what they did.
So would you agree there's a possibility somebody checked on it and opened it up?
Possible.
And are you certified to give those directives?
From my academy that I took, yes, in '92.
Okay, so you got certified in 1992.
Yes.
Were you certified to do any sobriety tests when they had to do with drugs detection?
No.
Okay. Are you certified?
Not specific.
Are you certified today for that? No. Okay. So are you, if you know, what's a drug recognition evaluator for?
It's, I don't know.
Have you ever heard that term? Can't hear you.
Yes,
And you don't know what it means.
that's a drug recognition officer or something. It's
So what-
Ray, or they call him a Ray,
And what's the job of a drug recognition officer?
I guess, to detect drugs.
And on this occasion, there was no drug recognition officer there, right?
No.
And Phil's sobriety tests, since you went to the academy way back. And when I say way back, I'm not being derogatory because I have way back to.
Absolutely.
Um,
Understood.
you were taught to do Phil's sobriety tests as a result of alcohol,
Yes.
not drugs. Have you ever taken these classes?
It's, they say that they're acceptable for both. I don't know technically.
And who's they?
Yeah.
Who's they?
When we learned the testing, it was used for a lot of different things. So,
So when you, basically, the way I see the case or your decision, it's based on the car being parked, was the car running?
no, car was off, he was in,
Car wasn't running.
was not right.
And then the back up, and so. What did you observe? Or is it your testimony that he failed to drive or he was substantially impaired, his driving was substantially impaired to be parked and went to sleep?
I don't understand what you're asking.
What you arrested him for operating while intoxicated buy marijuana. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how was it driving intoxicated? I mean, what kind of driving did we have that was substantially affected?
He couldn't pass any field sobriety. Those field sobriety tests are very standard. If you're not under the influence of something, you should be able to pass those. Relatively easy. They're not hard.
Well,
Obviously, there was something going on. He couldn't answer questions. He didn't know where he was. Something was going on with him.
well, let's talk about the field
He
sobriety.
couldn't pass the field sobriety.
There's three of them,
Yeah.
right? Can you do,
There's
what's, okay, we had the what, something to field sobriety. So,
the first one's ABCs.
okay, let's talk about that.
Yep.
So when you come up to somebody and tell them to do the ABC, do you ask them, do you know your ABCs?
I believe that I asked him if he graduated school,
Oh,
so he should know ABCs, correct?
I don't know. Do you ever ask them?
I even do it for them and explain it to them as I go, so.
I didn't see you do the ABCs for them, but maybe you did. I could have missed
I
that.
started the ABCs
But
for
my
him.
question is, do you ever ask ahead of time to whether somebody knows the ABCs? Some people don't. Is it fair to say, I'm sure you come across it, but
I
some
didn't.
people don't know the ABCs.
I would have to look, I believe in there that I asked him if he knows the ABCs.
Yeah.
We might have to look back, but I believe I
I
asked
think
him.
you asked them if you graduated.
Yes, I did.
And when you had them do the heel to toe test,
Yes,
and one of the things I think back from your certification days, I know it's a long time ago, but the terrain is supposed to be level, correct?
Yeah.
Correct?
it's as level as you can get, yes.
Oh, well, but if it's not level, you want to give the test, would you?
If it was where he couldn't make the test, no.
It's just when I
But you
was,
see me perform the test, what,
when I was looking at the video, he's on a dirt road, it which appeared to be major potholes in that road. That's what I saw. Is that accurate?
no, it's not accurate.
Okay, so I didn't see that when I looked at that
It's
video.
pretty smooth in the area where I had him do it. You've seen me do it prior to him doing it.
And does somebody's body shape affect his ability to balance? When you took your classes, does that have an effect on that?
Absolutely.
When you're overweight,
Yeah.
can't carry your weight properly, does that affect that test?
It can, yes.
Okay. And but you don't think that affected my client?
No, we don't.
And that's based on your certification back in the nineties?
Based on my experience, yes.
And what's the two others back? Okay.
I would have to look, I believe.
Well, you got counting.
I believe
4, 3, 2, 1.
dexterity, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. He goes 1, 2, never touches his index or his pinky, and then goes right back and still doesn't do it, touching to the middle.
But we
And
saw the test and you said, good job, but do you mean that?
trying to get him to continue my testing, so.
Okay. But I didn't see, you couldn't see that in the testing, that he didn't do that, but you're saying he didn't do that.
3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, he's good.
So I'm gonna get back now. How was his driving substantially affected by the use of marijuana in your opinion? That led to your advice.
Well, if he has anything in his system, he shouldn't be operating one vehicle by law. I don't know what his specific abilities.
So you don't know what his ability, how ability to affect that case. Nothing first?
Any follow?
Yes. Tony, with regard to, the alcohol portion of this, when you were encountering the defendant, you didn't know what you were dealing with out there.
No, no idea.
You had no idea, you just made observation, what you saw, you appeared to be confused, you appeared to be passed out, you appeared to be under the influence of something, but you didn't know what. Is that safe to say?
Correct.
Okay. Turned out that it wasn't alcohol, but you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Okay. With regard to the operation, were the keys in the ignition at the time you rolled
Yes,
up on the
sir.
car?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, I heard there was, what was going through your mind in terms of, was there a circumstantial situation where the car got there, that he was the one that had driven it?
He was in the driver's seat. He was the only person in the vehicle. My first thought was this getting medical, it was a very medical issue that was going on. It really wasn't for an investigation for alcohol until after I woke him up. My first thought was, okay, is he alive? I don't know. You see what I see. I pull up on a car with the door open and a guy in the seat. I don't know. The investigation goes from there, and then it ended up where it did.
It's safe to say that the car didn't get there miraculously somehow. It got driven to the point where it got driven to.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that when you're factoring in terms of the circumstantial nature of the driving.
Yes.
Okay. With regard to the field sobriety test, Mr. Duncan, cross-examined, it's safe to say, I would say, in my situation too, things changed a lot in the last 35 years, right? From when you went to the academy and got certified to administer field sobriety test, correct?
Yes, they have.
Okay, and did you have a drug recognition officer at the time you started working as a police officer?
No, sir.
No. Is that something relatively new, a drug recognition officer?
Yes.
Are you required to be a drug recognition officer?
Not that I've been advised.
No. Did anybody say, Officer Tony, you need to get certified as a drug recognition officer in order to do your job?
No, sir.
Okay. So the observations and what you did in your investigation, it was based on your 35 years of police experience, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I heard criticism of the walk from heel to toe test, that it wasn't done on level ground because apparently there were, Mr. Duncan said he saw potholes in the road. Did you see any potholes out there?
There were potholes in the road, but not where I gave the test at. That was
You made sure.
pretty flat, and you see me, I walked out specifically showing that I could walk it.
Mhm.
So,
And this was done in broad daylight. This wasn't done after midnight or any dark or anything like that.
no, sir.
We made sure.
They like
Clear
you've
off
seen on the video.
Okay. I think that's what I.
Did a couple of them. Bob, Tony, does Suffolk Township have a drug recognition evaluated officer?
We currently do now. We did not at the time of it.
So if this were to happen today, since it's you handle it, or we call it drug recognition?
I would call them out.
And why is it?
Because that's what our policy now says that I have to do.
Well, is that because he's qualified?
No clue.
I
I would have to assume they don't want me doing it.
And that's because you're not qualified.
Yes, sir.
Nothing.
I guess. He was qualified at the time. I mean, you can't understand from something, and they have one now, 2 years later.
Are you objecting to something? Or are you testifying about something?
That question, last question, restricted to say that Officer Tony isn't qualified to make that assessment. He was qualified in 2024.
You've already established that. You asked him, did anybody tell him he had to be qualified to do his job? And he said no. But things change now. All right. Can you step down? Watch your step. Anything else from the people?
Judge, I would like to take a minute.
Sure. You guys ready for a little break? Just a short break? Okay. So I'm going to make some comments and you guys tell me if you agree. At most, we're going to have one more witness. Then the attorneys and I are going to take probably 15 minutes to finalize final instructions. You'll hear the closings. I'll give final instructions and we're going to deliberate. So with that rough timeline in mind, use your time back there collectively to talk about whether or not you just want to keep rolling and work through lunch and hopefully get done early afternoon, or if you want to stop for lunch and come back and continue. If you tell me you want to keep going and things go a lot longer than I anticipate they're going to go, you can at any point say, you know what, we got to have a break. We want to have lunch now. Understand the discussion parameters? Okay. Agreed with what I said, fellas? Okay. All right. So let's take you back for a break. Mr. Duncan, you can have a minute with Mr. Block. Everybody else can stretch your legs.
Judge, can you go up?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said you can stretch. Yeah.
What did they choose?
I just told him to talk about it. It's funny, the live stream stopped or the chat stopped.
Because I had to turn it off.
It was back on.
I turned it back on. When we lose Zoom, we lose live stream.
No, I know, but the chat's just stopped.
Because we turn it off, now it'll come back.
Yeah,
It
but
starts over every time.
I know, but that's my point. There's just nothing since we started again.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, is it? Because it's not coming up. Last I got is lunch recess.
Yeah, that's the last thing. Is that what?
Oh, okay. All right. Talking about McNally. Yeah, still is. She's so cool.
She pays attention.
She sure does. Are you ready whenever they are?
Oh, Judge,
Yes, sir.
I guess I'm gonna make a motion now.
You want to do that before I bring them in? Why don't you go grab Hurley and bring him in?
Who's that, me?
No, I'm not doing that.
This is pretty quick.
Let me grab Heather.
Yeah, oh, God, I had no nitpicking.
Mike, I'm done.
The judge wanted something?
No, I'm done.
This is the question, make the law seem to be done.
Look for me.
Let me know when you're back on.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys, we're back on.
Judge, I just like to put a motion for directive because the reason I'm doing it, and I don't do this ever, but Officer Tony, I asked him a point blank question, what's your testimony as to how I was driving? And his answer was he can't give him because he can't tell how I was driving. That's what he said. So I have an officer who makes an arrest for an operating while intoxicated, but I asked him, how was the driving affected? And he said, I can't tell you how it was. That was his answer.
Go ahead, Mr. Rule.
Yeah, I think he responded, redirect that as part of his investigation, he reached the conclusion that Mr. Glock had operated the car to get it there. That was circumstantial, but he did operate the vehicle in his mind because he said he was the only one behind the wheel. He's for the ignition. So on the basis of his investigation, he made that leap. But circumstantial evidence is good evidence. There's a jury instruction to that effect. The jury can consider it, how they consider it.
That's two different questions, though. That goes to the element that has to be proven that he was operating. Mr. Duncan's argument goes to the element that says he has to have been operating with substantial impairment or influence. If I understand your argument.
And I do agree that circumstantial evidence would put him operating, plus he was in the car, so he's in control of the vehicle, so I'm not arguing that. But the problem is what the officer testified to. He said point blank, he can't tell me how I was driving. You can't have an, it's hard to have an operating while intoxicated when the arresting officer testimony is, I can't tell you how was operation was affected.
Different question.
Circumstantially, the officer's opinion, he drove the car to get it there, and then based upon the officer's contact and observation, he felt that he was under the influence or impaired.
But that's not one of the elements. One of the elements is that the driving was affected because of the consumption. That's a direct, I can read you the elements from the jury instruction. His argument is there's no evidence on the record of that particular element. You can't have a banana cream pie with no bananas. I'm trying to clarify your argument, but I think that's what you're saying.
The problem here is the officer on his own board is testifying, I don't know how I was driving. I can't tell you. And the officer can't tell how the jury made the determination.
I think circumstantially,
What's the circumstantial evidence about his bad driving?
the fact that the car is out in the middle of the road and the officer's.
Well, with all due respect, Officer Tony, it was not in the middle of the road. It was about as far to the right as it could be without getting in vegetation.
It's in a lane of travel.
But it wasn't in a lane of travel. I saw the same video you did. It was as far to the side of the road as it could get. And even if I give you it was stopped in the middle of the lane, you're saying that's circumstantial evidence of bad driving? Or a medical event that caused him to pass out in the middle of the driving?
Yes.
Or 100 other reasons he could have stopped where he stopped at the time he stopped. I've never granted a directed verdict for jury trial, I don't think. But I'm considering it this time because I don't hear any evidence that says his driving was bad.
It's your decision, Judge.
I'm giving you a chance to argue it.
What I could argue, you presented the testimony that I have. I can't just manufacture.
No, I don't want you to do that.
It is what it is.
I agree, it is what it is.
It's a tweener, from the get-go.
I'm going to grant it. Need to take it away from the jury. All right.
Well,
Go ahead, make a record.
no, are we on the list?
We're still on record, yeah.
No, well,
You want to go off record? We can go off record.
Well, I'm doing-
You just need one more minute, Joe.
That's fine.
You can sit.
Jury wanted a minute before they came in. I didn't look, there's no cash bond on that, is there?
It's a motion. Yeah. Yeah, because you said, I was like, yeah. So.
I'm just gonna go in there and debrief them like I always do after a trial. It's on the record, the case has been dismissed, granted the directed verdict. Anything else you want to put on the record?
No.
Get out of here. Be safe, guys.
So these cases, marijuana, alcohol is easier. The jury's.
Well, you just need one more minute, Joe.
That's fine.
You can sit.
Jury wanted a minute before they came in.
In this courtroom, the judge carefully listened to every detail before reaching a decision. The court showed patience, fairness, and respect for both sides, while ensuring that accountability remained at the center of justice. The judge's words reflected the importance of responsibility, self-control, and respect for others. Rather than acting on emotion, the court relied on facts, evidence, and the rule of law. This case serves as a reminder that justice is not only about punishment, but also about protecting victims, encouraging accountability, and maintaining public trust. The courtroom once again demonstrated why fairness and law matter in society.
A simple repair dispute took a dramatic turn when the judge began questioning a contractor's invoice. The homeowner claimed the workers spent only about 90 minutes at the property. Yet the bill showed nearly 5 hours of labor. As both sides argued over emergency service fees and workmanship complaints, the judge noticed inconsistencies in the testimony. The courtroom grew tense as questions mounted about whether the charges accurately reflected the work performed. Unsatisfied with the explanations, the judge signaled that more evidence would be needed and suggested bringing in the actual contractor to explain the disputed labor hours.